There comes a moment in your life when you must decide whether you will continue explaining your dreams to those who cannot see, or begin living as though they are already real. You are not here to be understood by others. You are here to awaken to the power of your own inner world. You see, every time you explain yourself, you slow the movement of the unseen forces that shape your world. You dilute the purity of your desire by filtering it through the opinions of others. But creation is not democratic. It is divine. It does not wait for approval. It responds to assumption. Stop justifying your vision. Stop defending your path. Stop asking others to validate what your inner being already knows to be true. The one who manifests miracles is the one who chooses silence over explanation, alignment over approval, faith over proof. When you hold firmly to a state of being, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing, reality bends to your inner conviction. The world, though appearing solid and external, is but a mirror reflecting your dominant assumption. You don't need to convince anyone. What you need is to inhabit the end of your desire. Ask yourself, if it were already true, already done, how would I feel? How would I walk? How would I speak or rest or think? From that state, you no longer need to argue for your limitations or present your case to the world. You simply become what you wish to see. And in that becoming, miracles unfold. The miracle is not the thing, it is your shift in awareness. It is the inner silence that says it is done and waits for no applause. It is the refusal to explain your transformation because you understand that only you are the author. So stop explaining, begin imagining, dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire, and let your new world rise silently around you. Let the miracle be your only explanation. You owe no one a justification. You owe yourself a vision fulfilled, and so it is. The more you explain, the more you delay. This simple truth often goes unnoticed because we are conditioned from childhood to seek approval, to defend our choices, to make ourselves understood. Yet in the realm of creation, this habit is a weight that slows your becoming. Every time you find yourself explaining why you desire what you desire, why you think the way you do, why you have chosen a particular path, you are really saying, I do not fully believe in it yet. Explaining is not power. It is hesitation dressed in reason. True creation does not plead for validation. It declares, assumes, and then rests. But when you explain yourself, you are subconsciously asking for permission to be who you already are within. You are waiting for someone else to co-sign your identity before you step into it. And as long as you need someone else to understand it, you are still on the outside of your manifestation, not within it. There is a silent strength that comes from inner conviction. A man or woman who knows who they are does not need to defend it. They move through life with an invisible authority. That authority comes not from arrogance, but from alignment. They are aligned with the state they have chosen. They live from the end, and therefore, they don't need to explain the journey. When you explain, you are reinforcing the idea that what you desire is separate from you, still out there, still not fully yours. You are identifying with the version of yourself that does not yet have it. You are trying to make others understand what even you have not fully claimed, and in doing so, you delay the manifestation, because reality responds not to what you say, but to what you embody. The universe is not listening to your words, it is echoing your state. And your state is most clearly seen, not in your declarations to others, but in the quiet knowing you carry within yourself. You do not need to convince the mirror to reflect a new image. You simply change the one who is looking into it. The world will follow. Silence is not weakness. In the spiritual sense, it is power. To move silently, inwardly assuming the state of your desire, is to operate from the highest level of creation. You don't need to announce your transformation. You only need to live it. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you start claiming your miracle. Think of the seed planted in the soil. It does not explain to the ground what it is becoming. It simply becomes. It knows. And through its quiet knowing, it breaks through the surface and blooms. You are no different. If you want to manifest faster, stop explaining. Let go of the urge to be understood. Let the desire live within you, undisturbed, unchallenged by the doubts of others. You do not need their belief, only your own. Stand firm in your vision, speak less, assume more. Embody your desire and let the world adjust to the new you. It always does. Consciousness creates reality, not justifications. This is the eternal truth that governs all manifestation. You are not required to explain why your desire is valid, why it makes sense, or why it should happen for you. You are not here to make a case for your dream as if standing before a court. You are here to embody it. You are here to live it. The world does not respond to your explanations. It responds to your state of being. Many people spend their energy defending their dreams rather than dwelling in them. They believe if they can explain it well enough, if others understand, approve, or applaud, then it will somehow make the dream more possible. But this is backwards. The creative power of life is not activated by the mind that justifies. It is activated by the consciousness that assumes. And assumption is silent. It is not concerned with logic or the opinions of others. It simply is. When you begin to justify your vision, you subtly announce that you are separate from it. You are saying, I must earn it. I must convince someone, maybe even myself, that this is acceptable. But creation requires no justification. It only requires alignment. If you desire to be wealthy, loved, free, successful, your task is not to explain why. Your task is to become that version of yourself inwardly and to dwell there with faith. You do not need to explain the steps, predict the process, or secure outside agreement. All you must do is assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That assumption, when held with sincerity and persistence, transforms into experience. Life molds itself around your dominant inner reality. It always has. You are not waiting for the world to approve of your vision. You are commanding it into form through consciousness. This is not arrogance, this is spiritual law. The one who lives as if their dream is already true walks differently, thinks differently, sees differently. They do not worry about how it looks to others. They know reality must bend to their state. They know that everything outside is only reflecting what they accept within. And so they spend no time in debate. They simply live the end and let the rest unfold. When you stop justifying and start assuming, your life becomes a mirror of your belief. You will find that things begin to shift, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. People change, circumstances rearrange, opportunities appear. Not because you begged or reasoned your way there, but because you chose the higher reality and stayed faithful to it. Let this be your reminder. No one needs to understand your path. You are not here to win debates about what is possible. You are here to walk in the possibility as if it is already fact. You are here to experience your vision, not argue for it. Stop explaining. Start embodying. Let your new state speak for itself, because once it becomes your dwelling place, reality has no choice but to follow. Silence is power in the invisible realm. In a world where noise is celebrated, where everyone is quick to speak, defend, and declare their position, there is a rare and sacred strength found in the one who remains still, the one who speaks inwardly, not to impress others, but to impress truth upon the deepest layers of their being. The silent assumption, the quiet inner knowing, has more creative force than 1,000 words shouted into the void. True manifestation is not about loud affirmations or dramatic displays of faith. It is not found in convincing others of what you are becoming. It is found in what you confidently affirm to yourself when no one is watching. When you say within, "It is done," and you mean it, something shifts. Not outside of you, but within. And that shift is what the world must eventually echo. What you speak outwardly may influence others, but what you speak inwardly shapes you, and it is you that creation listens to. Life responds to your inner dialogue, your habitual thoughts, your persistent assumptions. When those assumptions are built in silence, undisturbed by the need for validation or applause, they become unshakable. They are not ideas you are trying to believe. They are realities you have already accepted. Think of the seed planted in the soil. Its most important work is done in complete silence, beneath the surface, invisible to the eye. There is no noise in its growth, only certainty. It does not announce its root spreading or its stem rising. It simply becomes. So too must you go within and plant your assumption in silence, not to convince, but to create. Because the invisible realm responds not to volume, but to faith. You see, when you declare something loudly to the world, often it is to cover your doubt. But when you declare it silently to yourself and rest in that inner knowing, there is no doubt to hide. You are no longer trying to believe. It is now your truth. You walk differently. You think differently. You radiate something others cannot explain. And that radiance does not come from explanation. It comes from alignment. Let the world wonder what you are up to. Let them ask, "How did this happen?" Your answer need not be spoken. Your life will reveal what your silence has already claimed. That is the true miracle. It doesn't require noise. It requires agreement with the unseen. So withdraw your energy from trying to be understood. Pour it instead into understanding yourself, into aligning your inner voice with the vision you hold, into creating from stillness, into becoming the one who knows that silence is not emptiness. It is the space where all things are formed. Say within, "I am already it," and then say no more. The universe does not need your explanation. It only needs your decision. When your silent word becomes law within you, the outer world must obey. The power is not in your speech. It is in your state. And that state is forged in the quiet, invisible realm where miracles begin. Others can only see what you show within. This is the silent law of all experience. The outer world is a mirror, not a creator. It does not shape you, it reflects you. It cannot believe in your dream unless you first believe in it. It cannot see your vision until you've lived it inside yourself. And so, the habit of waiting for support, for approval, for applause is futile. The world cannot offer you what you have not already offered to yourself. You were never meant to convince anyone. You were meant to become, and when you become, the reflection changes. When you shift your concept of self, when you say inwardly, "This is who I am now," and you persist in that self-image, the people around you must respond accordingly. They don't do so out of agreement. They do so because they have no choice. Life is a mirror. It does not argue, it reflects. This is why waiting for others to believe in you is a trap. If they cannot see your greatness, it is not their vision that is lacking. It is your own assumption that needs strengthening. If they doubt your dream, it is often because you still carry doubt. If they question your path, it may be because part of you is still seeking permission to walk it. But once you become fully convinced, you will find that others either align with your new state or they fall away, and either outcome is a gift. Do not concern yourself with who sees it now. It is not their sight that creates you. It is your inner conviction. You are not manifesting their belief. You are manifesting your own becoming. And once you have become, once you have stepped fully into the identity of the one who already possesses the thing desired, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around that truth. There is no need to chase, no need to explain. The ones who must see it will, the ones who cannot were never meant to walk that path with you. Your work is not to gather believers. It is to believe in silence and show it through the life you embody. When you live it inwardly, you radiate it outwardly, and others, knowingly or not, respond to the frequency you carry. Everything begins within, not just ideas, but identity. You must decide who you are, you must assume it in the unseen, and you must persist even when nothing outside reflects it yet. That is true faith. Not waiting for evidence, but being the evidence. Being the change. Being the answer. Stop waiting for the world to recognize your light. Become the light. When you become it, recognition becomes irrelevant. Fulfillment comes from being, not from applause. The joy is not in being seen. It is in seeing yourself clearly and walking boldly as the one you have chosen to be. Others will come to see it, not because you made them, but because you became it. The world cannot help but reflect your inner reality. So change yourself first. The rest will follow. It always does. Live from the end, not from explanation. This is the sacred key. The one who truly understands the nature of creation does not feel the need to map out every step, convince others, or even convince themselves. They assume the end and live there now. They no longer look for signs or ask how it will happen. They have moved into the knowing that it already has. That is the difference between hoping and creating. The person who has it doesn't waste energy explaining. They are not busy defending their desire or trying to figure out the process. Why? Because you don't explain something that already is. You don't explain the sunrise, you watch it rise. You don't explain a miracle, you live inside its beauty. And when you live from the end, from the state of already having, you've stepped into the only place where manifestation becomes inevitable. The one who lives from the end walks differently. Their conversations are different. Their energy changes. They are no longer seeking, they are choosing. They are no longer asking, they are receiving. They no longer try to get there because they know they already are there, within. And because life is always echoing your internal state, the outer must reflect what is already true inside. When you begin to explain your desire, you reveal uncertainty. You suggest that the outcome is separate from you, that there's a gap between who you are and what you want. But when you assume the end, when you dwell in the state of already being it, already having it, already living it, you collapse that gap. You erase the separation. You say within yourself, this is mine now, I am this now. And with that assumption, creation begins. There is no magic in explanation. The world doesn't respond to how clearly you can define the path. It responds to how deeply you've accepted the end. All things are born from a state of consciousness. If your dominant state is lack, even the most logical plan will not yield results. But if your dominant state is fulfillment, even the most unlikely path will open. Do not concern yourself with how. That belongs to the realm of uncertainty. Concern yourself with who. Who are you now within? What do you believe about yourself? What feeling do you carry? The one who already has the thing does not wonder, they assume, they live, they embody. And so must you. To live from the end means to carry the feeling of your wish fulfilled in every moment. You do not wait for the outer to confirm it. You walk as if the outer already has. You begin to think like the person who has the thing, speak like the person who owns the dream, and feel like the one who no longer needs to ask. You become the answer. When you live from the end, the world reorganizes around your assumption. The people, places, and events that match your new state begin to appear. Not because you chased them, but because you aligned. You became a vibrational match to your vision. That is where miracles begin, not in explanation, but in embodiment. So release the need to explain, to justify, to be understood. Choose instead to live from the end. And in doing so, watch your entire world conform to the image you've silently accepted within. Miracles require no permission. They are not democratic events decided by group consensus. They do not wait on the approval of friends, family, or society. A miracle is born the moment you decide, without apology, without delay, without explanation, that your inner reality is the only truth you need. You are never meant to convince anyone of your worth, your vision, or your destiny. You were meant to create, and creation does not plead, it declares. There is a great freedom in realizing that you owe no one an explanation for the desires of your heart. What you want is sacred. It is yours, and it doesn't need to be logical, practical, or understood. Desires come not from reason, but from spirit. They arise because they already exist in potential, waiting for you to claim them. But the more you try to justify them to others, the more you delay their unfolding. Miracles do not thrive in the presence of doubt disguised as explanation. Stop asking the world to understand you. The world is not your source, it is your shadow. It reflects, it does not lead. And the moment you stop trying to be understood is the moment you open the door for divine movement. The universe begins to respond not to your arguments, but to your alignment. Not to your reasoning, but to your resonance. It doesn't ask for proof, it asks for permission from you, and only you. The greatest shift happens when you give yourself that permission. When you say, I no longer need anyone to believe in me, I believe in myself. When you stop waiting for the world to catch up and instead start living from the place where your desire is already real. That decision is the turning point. That inner yes is what the universe listens to. And once it hears it, it begins to organize every detail, every encounter, every opportunity to meet you at the level of your assumption. Convincing others is a distraction. It keeps your attention turned outward when all true change begins within. You are not created to explain your greatness to people still doubting their own. You were created to embody it. Quietly, boldly, fully, and in doing so you give others silent permission to do the same, not by your words, but by your example. Miracles happen in silence, in stillness, in surrender to what already is within. They happen when you choose faith over fact, feeling over fear, and imagination over explanation. You do not need to tell the world you're changing. You need only to change. You need only to assume the role of the one who already has it, already is it, already lives it. The world will notice in time, but it doesn't have to. You are not here to follow the rules others made from their own limitations. You are here to break through them by choosing what feels impossible and claiming it as inevitable. The miracle is not something you earn through effort. It is something you accept through assumption. It's not the result of permission. It's the result of presence. So stop explaining, stop asking, stop waiting. You already have everything you need. The universe is not withholding. It is waiting. Waiting for you to drop the mask of needing approval and step into the power of already being. And when you do, the miracle is not delayed, it is revealed. You were never meant to explain your power. You were meant to embody it. Every time you choose silence over justification, assumption over doubt, and the end over the explanation, you align with the truth of who you really are. You are not here to seek permission. You are not here to convince the world. You are here to create, to manifest miracles through the silent knowing that what you desire is already yours. Stop explaining yourself to people who cannot see what you already know. Let your inner world lead. Live from the end, speak only when it aligns with your vision, and let your life become the evidence. Miracles don't come when you're understood. They come when you understand the power you hold within. Assume it, walk in it, and watch the world reshape itself to match what you have claimed in silence. Thank you. Thank you for walking this journey inward, where your silence becomes strength and your assumption becomes reality. The miracle is already here because you are.